Hello, everyone, and welcome to the virtual Simple Cooking with Heart kitchen. I'm so excited that you all could be here today. We have a wonderful recipe for you. We are doing beef stroganoff. That's right, you heard it here first, beef stroganoff. So instead of taxing your time, I'm going to pass it over to the wonderful Chef Stephanie Rose, who's going to show you this awesome recipe. Thanks so much, and stay tuned. And if you're cooking, I want to see you.
Thank you so much. Short and sweet. I love it. Here we are. It's a new year. It's February already. Thank you so much, Alfonso, and thank you all for joining me this evening. The Simple Cooking with Heart kitchen in my home. I'm sorry, words are hard. And I actually have streamlined this recipe quite a bit. I'm doing a la Food Network. So y'all better have your mise en place together if you're cooking along, because it's going to be snippy, snappity, lickety split, because I have actually wanted to make this dish for years. I know. I mean, you get that one sometimes in the back of your head and you're just like, oh gosh, it's kind of, a comfort food. I know it. Y'all think of, 1950s, casserole, open up a can of mushroom soup. But, actually it can be really elegant and, full of wonderful flavor. So, look at it in a new light, and in a light and healthy light, which is kind of nice to know, because I thought this dish was, layer on the butter and the heavy cream, and, how about some cognac and filet mignon and, lots of potatoes and, noodles on the side, whatever. But isn't it nice to know that we can make it healthier and lighter? I'm looking forward to it. So I hope you have your beautiful lean red meat already sliced up nice and thinly. I sliced mine up, and I did weigh it. So this is exactly a pound. And I'm actually going to go ahead and turn my pan on because it's still a little cold. I meant to take it out of the refrigerator a little bit earlier. You can actually buy this sometimes already thinly sliced. I want to say Aldi has it. I certainly know H Mart has it, beautiful slices, because it's used for bulgogi, the Korean barbecue. So that's a good tip. And they always have the really lean one too, which is great. The top round and the top sirloin. And of course, those are the lesser expensive cuts too. But, if you want to use filet mignon, that's fine too, because it's nice and lean. It's only about $29 a pound, but yeah, the price of meat is going. And if you don't want to use meat at all, leave it out, and then just double up on the mushrooms. You could even add, some other, tofu if you wanted to. I mean, you could actually make this vegan. So if you weren't going to be using the sour cream, you could puree some tofu, and that will bring that creamy consistency to the dish. Or you can use oat milk. I think that works too, and that's also within the vegan standards. And if they have vegan sour cream, what the heck, go ahead and use that. So I've got this ready to go. I'm just going to give that another minute. And while that's heating up, I want you to dice up your mushrooms. I love mushrooms. And this is about 8 ounces, which, what are those little clamshells come in? It's either 6 ounces or 8 ounces, or 10 ounces. It's never what you want, right? But it's always more or less. So just go ahead, add more. That's not going to kill you. And we love mushrooms. And so I got some oyster mushrooms. I got some cremini mushrooms. You have to forgive me tonight. I have a little bit of a tickle in my throat and a bit of a runny nose. Womp womp. And shiitakes. I adore shiitakes. I mean, if you live anywhere that has chanterelles, that would be pretty spectacular in this dish. And there's a couple of ways to cut up mushrooms. And with a dish like this, sometimes I like to make keep them kind of in a chunky, robust form, which means not slices. I sliced some. I went all over the place. But first, I'm going to cut off that end piece. And these were quite clean. All I had to do was just sort of wipe them off gently. A little bit of the dirt. I don't even think it's really dirt anymore in them. What are they growing in? So when I like to keep it kind of a chunk, this is how I'll do it. Sort of a little triangle. So that's really nice. So like I said, I already have this. This is at least 8 ounces right there. Now we also have some tomato paste, a tablespoon of tomato paste. I actually had some in my freezer because what else did you use? What do you do when you just have a tablespoon of tomato paste? What do you do with the rest of it? Well, no, my mother used to leave it in the refrigerator and it looks kind of gross after a couple of weeks, but just lay out some plastic wrap or what do they say? Wax paper. I use plastic and then just dollop a couple of plops and then fold it over, twist it. So you have some nice little blobs and throw it in the freezer. And then you just have a tablespoon when you need it. That works out better, right? Now, I also noticed in this recipe, I hope y'all got it. And sorry about the mix up with the Zoom link. I hope y'all were able to sign in. We had some complications there, but hopefully it was remedied and you're here with me. The recipe doesn't, in the ingredients list, it didn't say onion. I don't know. Did you see onion? Because I didn't see onion. But then when you're reading the instructions, which I hope y'all do, because you really need to read the instructions, you will see that it says to dice up an onion. So dice up garlic. So I got the garlic diced up. I did dice up my onion. And you want to have a little bit of mace. If you don't have mace, you could use a little bit of nutmeg, so that's fine too. Okay, this is getting nice and hot. I would normally use just a little corn oil, but I think I happen to have some olive oil. Olive oil. We all love olive oil, right? Olive oil's really good for you. And if you don't have an onion, you could use a shallot. So all of that is fabulous. So I was hoping, Alfonso, if you could spotlight the overhead while I start throwing this stuff in, that would be awesome. They don't need to see me. I don't even want to see me anymore. So I just want y'all to see the food, right? Up close and personal. You think my pan's hot enough? I hope so. I hope you can see it nice, and you should be able to tell, if your oil is hot enough, it starts to ripple. You don't want it. Well, if you're searing something, actually, you do kind of want it to smoke a little bit, not burn. But if you have a cold piece of meat, it's always better to just keep your meat out, let it get to room temperature so it doesn't cool down the pan too much. And I don't want to play with it too much because then that brings down the temperature too, right? So we don't want that. I don't know. Can anybody see any ripples? Because I can't. Ripples? Are you there? Of course, this is not my hottest burner. Now, normally I would saute my mushrooms ahead of time separately, but I know we're trying to, watch our oil, and we only want to use one teaspoon. So I'm just gonna try it this way and throw them in, after the meat. All right, let's see what a little blob in the center does. It's not too bad. That's the sound I want to hear, right? And we do want to just kind of brown it a little bit, hopefully. Any kind of browning on the meat, on the outside of the meat is going to, caramelizing, they call it, fancy terms, is going to help boost the flavor. But I think there's going to be a lot of flavor in this anyway with the mushrooms, with the sour cream. You know, there's a lot of different recipes out there. This one is quite simple. I was surprised that it didn't have smoked paprika or paprika in it, but maybe this is the Russian version, not the Hungarian version. I don't know. I was also reading that sometimes they use a little bit of mustard as a flavoring. And I even saw one recipe on PBS, no doubt, and they added a little bit of tarragon and balsamic vinegar, in addition to cream and butter and all that good stuff. But so I don't want to play with it too much, but I do want to get, it's good. I used a bigger pan. I wanted to put it in a smaller pan, but I think this needs the bigger pan. Seems to be working. And you should be able to get this done in no time, right? Crank that up. So if you are cooking at home, put your water on for your noodles, okay? You want to get that water boiling for the noodles. And if you read closely in the recipe, you only get 3 ounces. It says to boil 3 ounces of noodles. To be honest, I was kind of surprised. I don't even know what 3 ounces of dried noodles looks like. I'm used to, you know, dumping in the whole bag, right? I mean, this is a good lesson for me, that's for sure. So this was the whole bag of noodles, and I've taken out the 3 ounces. So I think our serving portion is, let me look at my little cheat sheet, a half a cup of noodles. Interesting. So obviously I have been giving myself too large a portion. So our portion, oh, I got some color there. Now it seems to have subsided a little bit. Why are you doing that? I'll start turning some of them over. Ooh, okay, good. Ooh, got some good color in the middle. Me likey. So maybe I'll move those to the outside and move the ones that are on the outside in. You know, they don't have to all be perfectly brown, but oh, this is some nice color. I like that. Very happy about that. I thought I had this memorized. I'm gonna try to remember what order, you know, it doesn't really matter. I think I'm gonna put in the onions in and the garlic. Don't want my garlic to burn, so put in the onions first, but not until my meat. Of course, obviously this meat is going to be cooked all the way through, okay? There's definitely no medium rare beef stroganoff. I think a girlfriend of mine asked me to make this recipe once. Mari, if you're out there, Mari, this is for you, darling. And I'll make it in honor of my stepmother, who's Ukrainian. I should have called her up for some tips. Wraps. I actually do have some tarragon. Who happens to have tarragon in their refrigerator? I have some tarragon, and I absolutely love, you know, fresh parsley on everything. So I'm certainly going to put some fresh parsley on them. I'll chop that up later. What goes in next, Alfonso? Help me out here. Saute up, add my mushrooms. There we go. Les champignons into the pan. Yeah, there's lots of brown in this dish. Lots of brown. I'm gonna sort of poke the, oh, wouldn't it be nice if we had some porcinis? Sometimes I do buy the dried mushrooms.
I'm just talking on mute. I was like, do you have your garlic in?
No, not yet. Not
Not
yet.
yet.
I'm gonna do the mushrooms.
And I'm
And then
surprised
I'll
this
add
recipe
the
didn't have a little onion to it.
what, hun?
I'm surprised this recipe didn't have a little onion to it. Like a little onion
Well,
in it.
it's in the it's just not in the ingredient list. It is in the instructions.
Okay. Hmm.
I love it when I catch typos like that.
It's okay.
Like, oh, typo. It, when chefs write these, it's so easy to let that happen. Why, if you're writing a recipe, it's always good to get somebody else to look at it. All right, so I've got that. You can see why I needed a big pan, right? I actually have a bigger one too, but what's the point? I don't, my big, huge power burner's back here. So Dougie's going. I mean, I could definitely add a little bit of salt. That'll help. We get to add a quarter teaspoon of salt. I'm going to add it. And I'm going to start adding some pepper because why not? I love pepper. I mean, love pepper. I think this is also really kind of perfect for a winter snowy day. I know there's a lot of you out there that got some serious weather. I hope you're safe and have power. There are some pretty freaky storms around. Ski day. What do I want to cut up? Okay, yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and cut up a little bit of parsley.
I just want to say that looks delicious as it is right now. Literally, if you stopped right there, I would eat that whole thing.
I know you love mushrooms too, right?
I do. I love mushrooms.
I love mushrooms. I think this could even handle portobellos too. If you're not going to add the meat, or if you are, they could certainly.
I agree. I completely agree about the portobellos.
Just scrape out the black. What are those things called? The lungs, the little wings on the inside, because they make everything black. That's why I don't like them. Tarragon, fresh tarragon. I think I had to get my daughter to buy this when she was in DC. Like, go to Whole Foods, bring me tarragon. Yeah, I'm out on the Eastern Shore, y'all, and I don't often see fresh tarragon. But what I don't use, I might just put it in some white wine vinegar, and then bada bing, bada bang, bada boom. I'm going to have some tarragon vinegar, right? Because that's another thing that's hard to find. And it's expensive. So make your own. So just choppy. Oh, let me stir. It's nice. My mushrooms are actually getting some color too. This is beautiful. Okay, onions are going down. Let's dump away. Thank you. There's onion. Definitely got some grease flying. Let those cook a tid. Finish chopping. Show you the noodles in a minute. So I already cooked off the 3 ounces because I was like, I got to see what this looks like. And usually I think that the 3 ounce portion, the whole thing cooked, is what my son usually eats. That's his portion. We'll have to have a chat about that. So I know let's put my beautiful herbs in here. Get them out of the way. Fabulous. Stir up my onions. I think it says like in between, each addition, you want to stir it up, let it simmer like 5 minutes, 3 minutes, something like that. Have the salt in there. All right, I'm going to go ahead and add the mace because I always think that a dried herb needs to wake up. Now I'm going to go ahead and add my garlic because I can. And I think the garlic, I actually use 2 cloves, you know me. Now, if you don't have fresh garlic, go ahead and use the garlic powder. But seriously, my friends, if you're cooking with me, I would love for you to get comfortable with the fresh garlic. And remember, I know I told you in the past, you could keep it in the freezer, you know, when you're ready to use it. And you can use a garlic press. I don't forbid it. It's, you know, no judgy here. You go ahead and use the garlic press. Now, I don't remember when it said to add the tomato paste, but this is when I'm adding it. Because oftentimes you like to get that tomato mixed in. And again, we're talking about flavor here. So you want it to almost caramelize a little bit. That's a little secret. It'll help bring out more of the flavor. I do this to my bones when I'm roasting them for beef stock. So stir in that tomato paste so it can get cooked a little bit. Oh, yeah, it's starting to smell good. Funny, yeah, sometimes I don't pay attention to what order they want me to do things. I just kind of do it in my order. And it usually works, but I do try to listen to recipes for the most part. All right, that's smelling pretty good. Now I'm thinking I'm gonna add my buffy broth. Remember how much? What, a cup and a half? This is about a cup and a half. Help me out there. Look at my other cheat sheet. Doot, doot. A cup and a quarter. Why? Cup and a quarter of low sodium, my dears. It's that low sodium beef broth. Ooh, that's nice. Around. You can see why I have the parsley. It definitely needs a little bit of green on here, right? I know my meat is cooked, so I'm just going to have to taste a piece because I'm allowed. I do have a little bit of white wine. We're allowed 2 tablespoons or so, or a little bit of, you don't have white wine, a little bit of marsala would also be really lovely, you know, and nothing hurts, you know, little cognac's good too. So I think that this was like, that was like a cup and a half. So hopefully this is not too much in here. And we're gonna, as my mess piles up over here. Good thing you can't see that. You can't see that, right? Just keep piling it on. Definitely missing the wine. And the throw in a little bit of the herbs now. I want that flavor to cook in there a little bit, especially the tarragon, which I think will be really nice. And now don't worry if you don't have any or you don't like it, don't add it. You know, I would love to stir in some mustard, but I'm not going to do that. So while that is, excuse me, simmering, I want y'all to check out your portion, what the three ounces cooked of our noodles looks like. So I think we could live with that, right? Maybe I should microwave. So that should feed 4 people. But isn't that interesting to get a, I wonder, oh, I don't think I can open my microwave. Oh dear. No, yeah, my overhead cam is in the way. All right, well, I'll have cold noodles. Who cares? I guess some people dump the noodles in with the meat. I don't know if I wanted to do that. What if you don't want the noodles already mixed in, And sometimes that just sort of makes me think of not rice-a-roni, but what's that other one? You know what I'm talking about. This is nice. Now it also talked about when you're putting in the sour cream. So it's a quarter cup of sour cream. And I did take that out so it won't be too cold. Now they mentioned that it might curdle. So what they were talking about is tempering it. So they recommend putting the beef in with a little bit of it just to bring it to temperature, to warm it up, and then put that all back in. But then when you put it back onto the stove, you can no longer bring it to a boil anymore, because there's nothing worse than a beautiful, delicious sauce that has separated. I know some people have some tricks to getting them back. I mean, I know my dad does, but put in a little bit of water, or I don't know, they don't work for me. They work for him. I just will have to eat it broken, or I would just end up adding more, or adding some butter, and then I'd be way off base, right? We don't want to do that. So I'm gonna think it's supposed to reduce down a little bit so it looks thick. We're only going to be adding another 2 tablespoons of liquid. So that is not bad. So I'm going to start adding my quarter cup of sour cream, right? So I'm going to add a little bit. Or is it all of it I put in here? All right. All of it.
Say a little bit.
I'm sorry?
I'll say a little bit. Just like a little dollop.
Oh, I put it all in. Now I'm going to get the hot. Stir that. Stir this up. Sure is smelling good. So tempering, getting this to a nice, warmer temperature. Now I think I can probably turn this down a little bit. Ooh. Remember, we don't want to boil. Sure smells good. All right, tempered. You're tempered. Now behave. So I can't, like I said, I cannot wait to taste this. See if it needs some paprika. Or it might, mixing it up with another dish that has paprika. I don't know. Just seems like something I should add to it. Okay, so this is in here now, and I believe I can add my white wine. I'm going to go ahead and add a little white wine. Now this is when you do want to stir it up, because at this point, I don't want it to come back up to a boil. Oh, yeah. But I want to cook off a little bit of that alcohol. Woohoo. A little more spicy spice. Spicy spice is nice. It's good. Ooh, I gotta lick the side of this dish because it tastes really good. No lie. That is yum. That is very yum. You can really taste the mace. It's got a really interesting, mace is that beautiful lace outside cover on nutmeg. I had some here, but I apologize. I didn't dig them out for you. All right. So this is pretty delicioso, y'all. I think I'm actually kind of ready to dig into it. And I just wanted y'all to see what it looks like here. That's our serving dish for this. And I guess I'm going to put that in the other dish in a little bit. But right now, I think I'm going to do a little portion for me. So we get a cup of this. Okay. So half a cup of this, right? Here. And we get a whole cup of the beef and mushroom mixture. So let's see what this looks like. There seems like a lot here. Doesn't it look like it would be more than 4 cups? Yay. All right. That's that's a cup. It's a cup, okay? I measured it. All right. That's a lot, right? Here's my other trick. Small plate. That always works. And here we got it. Here we have it. Okay, I am so totally ready for this. Turn that off. Oh, it smells divine. And I was thinking of just serving this with a nice salad, maybe even one with the strawberries and a champagne vinaigrette on the side. Sounds really good. Or some roasted asparagus. Oh, yum. I'm ready for some dinner. I'm ready for some beef stroganoff. So all I know in Russian is na zdrowie. And I don't think that's bon appetit, but in good health, everybody. And thank you so much for joining me tonight. And I hope you enjoy this. And I can't wait to see you again. I love you all. Bye-bye now. And
See you all later.
Happy February. It's Heart Month. Woohoo! Mwah.